Hey y'all, it's Juliana Wallace with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. I have Henry Harris in the studio with us today, or more commonly known as Coach Hawk. Now, he is truly a champion for our community. He does so much, and we're just going to dive right in. And Hawk, I think we should start at the beginning because you've just accomplished so much. And let's just start right at the beginning. Tell us how you got into tennis. Let's start off with that.
Well, I was a football player in high school, baseball player, ran a little bit of track. And graduating in the 68, 69, 70, going to Co-Lin to play football. Well, most of the college coaches would come to the high school looking for Henry Harris, but Henry Harris was a 145-pound guy. They was looking for a 200-pound guy. Because the Henry Harris they heard on the radio was making 18 tackles and 12 assists a game. So they was looking for this big old huge guy. And they would come into the dressing room. We looking for Henry Harris. And they looking at me and I'm sitting back in the back of the dressing room. And they say, that's Henry Harris back there. They say, no, that ain't the Henry Harris we hear every Friday night. So went up to Co-Lin to try out Coach Mike. No, not Mike. Coach M.K. Turk came to Natchez, Thompson, to look at basketball players. And the basketball coach told him that we have some football players here that might want to come up to Co-Lin. 1969-70. So we went up to try out, and believe it or not, it was 25 black guys trying out for 4 scholarships that we learned about maybe 15 years later. So we was first black football players, 4 of us made the team. 4 basketball players, black, made the team. Again, 3 was from Natchez, played basketball. 3 was from Natchez, played football. And from there, I still had hopes of going to the pros to play football, but not knowing how big those guys were. And in the 60s, if you wasn't 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 250 pounds, you didn't wasn't a football player. So when I got to Co-Lin, they said, well, what do you play? I said, I play linebacker. And they said, you play linebacker? And I said, yes, sir, I did. He said, well, you too small. So they gave me a ball and said, well, we're going to put you as a running back. But then I was so fast, by the time the quarterback turned, I'm gone. Wasn't fast, I was scared. I had hit people for so many years, I was afraid somebody gonna hit me like I hit them, so I didn't want the ball at all. So we went through the trials, and 4 of us, Atlanta Frazier, Leroy Chapman, and Henry Harris from Natchez, and a Jesse Terrell from Brookhaven, Mississippi, was the first black football players at Co-Lin. And during that time is Vietnam, and the draft is full effect. So I go up to Co-Lin 70, 71, get back home May. I got a draft letter from the draft board that I need to meet at the bus station at the corner of Wall in Maine with some change of clothes for a weekend to try out to take a physical. So I went up and did the physical and came back, went back to Co-Lin, came back home January for Christmas break and found out I was number 89 in the state of Mississippi. So I was 12 weeks in Vietnam. I was headed. So I had some friends, Louis Faust and Ellis Sanders, that played tennis. So they talked me up to come into the tennis course. They say, man, come on up and play tennis with us. I said, I'm not playing that sissy thing. That's a sissy sport, man. Football players don't play tennis. So I went up and started playing. Behold, the tennis coach was sitting in the parking lot watching, and I kind of beat up on everybody on the campus, not knowing what I was doing. But he said, Harris, would you like to play tennis next year? And I said, yes, sir. So I picked up a tennis racket, came back home, and at the youth center, only 1971, only the teachers and black businessmen, they would play tennis at the youth center. We had 2 courts. And after they'll get through playing, they'll lock the courts up. So the first black high school tennis team for North Natchez was built in 71 also. So my neighbors played football, so we all started playing tennis. So we would walk 2.5 miles to the youth center, play tennis for 5 hours. Then we'll climb over the fence to play, climb back out of the fence to play. So the second year at Co-Lin, I'm playing football. I didn't do baseball, I just did tennis. Didn't do track. So a couple of the guys was professors, and they contact Alcorn, said, we got a guy down here that you might want to see. So the tennis coach rode down on his motorbike, and he was an old man. He got off the bike and said, son, if you can beat me, I'll give you a scholarship. Well, I had my best friend was the leading football player for Alcorn State. And he had told the coach about me, but the coach didn't like little people. So then the tennis coach goes back and say, I got me a tennis player. He's from Natchez. And he told him his name is Henry Harris. And the coach say, I heard that name before. So he contacted the football player. He said, yeah, that's the guy I've been telling you about. So I got a chance to go out and watch him practice football. And it was like, whoa. I said, no way I want to play football. I'm too small. So I started playing tennis at Alcorn, graduated from Alcorn, came back home, tried to get a job at IP, John Mamber, at the top plant. Well, during those days, they had quotas. So I guess they had their quota, so I couldn't get in there. So, behold, the police department and the fire department was taking applications for jobs. So I put in an application for police. I didn't want to be a fireman because I was scared of fire. So I became a policeman from 84, from 74 to 84. Then Mayor Tony Burns know what I was doing in the community with the kids because I was helping with the tennis team, and he transferred me from the police department to the rec department as the system rec director and the program director. So we IP guys at IP had started some basketball programs, so I picked up what they have started, and we kept it going. From 74, 6 with tennis, I have now I'm going. I got to teach somebody how to play, so I need to learn how to teach. I don't know how to hit the ball, but I need to learn how to teach it. So I went to Miss Jeannie Peabody. I would ride out in the police car, and I would sit at Duncan Park and watch her teach. And I would go back to the youth center, and that's what I'll teach. I'll teach them what I was learning from her. Then we met, and I said, well, I want to learn how to be a professional tennis teacher. And she said, well, this is what you got to do. So I went to Birmingham, Alabama, and got my certification in tennis. And but the crazy thing is, in 65, June of 65, I'm 15 years old. I go to Duncan Park because they say they have a sliding board that's 15 feet high. So I walk out the black community, go across St. Catherine, go down to Duncan Park, and when I get there, this is 1965. There was 2 policemen. Say, where are you going? I said, I'm going to slide on the sliding board. They said, you can't play in this park. So I turned around and went back. Lo and behold, in 1974, I become the police.
Yeah, you
So,
got a little switch around there.
yeah, just how faith is and God is, I become the police. And now in 84, I become the park director, system park director over our program. So, hey, my faith been led by God. And I appreciate that to the highest because I was a straight child. I mean, I was bad. I was so bad that my mom and dad had to send me to Kingston in the summer to keep me out of trouble. In Kingston, they had no running water, no electric lights. So you draw water to do everything, and you had a counter, you had a kerosene lamp to see by. But behold, all of my aunts and uncles, especially my aunts, all of them became teachers. And I'm wondering how they become teachers. And they came out of this building with no electric lights, no running water. And I'm going, here I am. I'm trying to learn, and it just ain't fixing with me. This stuff is about education, and I don't like education. But in order to make it, my grandmother said, you got to have education, son, if you're going to make it. So from there, I started working with kids, and from there, I wanted to take them where I didn't have a chance to go. Number one, as a policeman, we had Johnny Ballin, Charles Sims, Billy Joe Frazier, had a Joseph Fleming, a David Robertson. We homed into the neighborhoods, cause see, as we was growing up, we weren't allowed on the streets.
Mm.
So we went into the neighborhoods and we stayed in the neighborhoods talking to the kids, and from there, by '84, tennis started in '71 on the black side of town. In '84, we won a state championship in tennis.
That is so impressive.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I mean, you just have fully immersed yourself in the community, and especially with youth, with kids. And that's the part that just warms my heart so much. And you had no idea when you were at Co-Lin, when you picked up that racket, that would launch you 40 plus years
Yeah, that's
into
50
the
sport.
tennis
Yes,
world.
indeed.
Oh, wow. And so, kind of going back to the beginning of the story, so tennis, did that get you out of the draft?
Tennis got me out of the draft, I think, because by '72, '73, they was down. They wasn't sending a lot of soldiers over. By '74, then they had just about shut down and sending folks to Vietnam. So they was trying to pull everybody back. So I was blessed.
Yes. Well, and then as your term as a police officer, you're able to kind of be on the other side of things and do
Yeah.
good from the other side of things.
Well, as a policeman, I wanted the kids to have a better respect of what policemen were, because when I growed up, we saw policemen on TV beating people.
Mm.
You go downtown and you get dragged out of the at the corner of Franklin and Union was a store. Blacks could only go in from the Franklin Street side. The whites can go in from the Union Street side. But you had to walk up the steps, order what you're gonna order, then go back down and go back into the streets.
That's so brave of you, and like it's like you almost held that personally responsible to go out and make a difference, as you know, on the police side.
Well, I wasn't by myself. It was a number of guys with me that we wanted to make sure the image of policemen wasn't that they was gonna beat you,
Well,
cause that's all we saw on TV was police beating up black folks.
and so I'm just so impressed and awed by everything you've even accomplished up to what year are we in now?
Now we in '84, '85 state championships at a all black high school.
Yeah. Look how much just through
And
1985.
now we're trying to pick up the pieces. The kids that we deal with today
Hmm.
is a little bit different, and coaching now has become stressful. And I
Really?
feel sorry for coaches because
How's that? Well, let's talk about that
the kids
switch.
know everything, and the resource for them to be great is there. When I was growing up, it was a black and white TV. The TV went off at 12 o'clock
Hmm.
every night, and there was very few sports lessons. It was Saturday, Sunday football. Wasn't any basketball on TV. So you didn't see a lot of sports on TV. Now there, there are sports on TV 7 days a week, all day, all night. And if you want to be an athlete, there's some kind of sports on TV that you can learn, or you can go to Facebook and you can Google whatever you want to do. But these kids, I can do it, and they can't hit a ball over the fence.
They get it in their head because
Yes.
y'all probably don't know this, but Hawk coached me in high school. I've been playing tennis since I was 7. He coached me, and there's just things that you can't learn from a screen.
No.
You can't.
No.
Most things in tennis you can't learn from a screen. And I mean, you still help me when I go out there. And it's that relationship with a coach that allows the player to progress. So let's talk about how you're coaching now. So what kind of kids are you coaching? I know you help. This is what I just love about how you coach is you help kids stay out of trouble. It's let's not focus on what's going on here. Let's just put all our energy onto tennis, and you push grades a lot too.
Yes. First thing is I enforce you got to have good grades. You got to go to school, and when you go to school, you got to obey. And if you can't do that, then there's no need for you to be out here at the tennis courts with me. And I usually talk to the parents. If you're having problems, I'm just a phone call away. Because as a policeman, what we would do is you call up and say, I'm having a problem with Joey. He don't want to go to school today. So whoever went on at 6:30 made sure Joy was catching the bus at 7:30 so he can go to school or she can go to school. So it wasn't no problem with as a policeman we go into the house and say, hey, you finna go to school today.
Yeah.
If you school called and said the principal that we had, they know all the policemen because they had taught all of us. So if they had kids that was shooting hooky, they would call us and say, we got these kids not at school today, and we'll round them up and take them back to school.
Well, it takes a village.
Yeah,
It takes a village. It takes the whole community.
Yeah.
Oh man. And I want to talk about some of your accomplishments that you've had. So one, you were at the Olympics. What year was that?
96 in Atlanta. Miss Peabody and I coached a young lady in high school, and she became, I guess, someone big with Coca-Cola. And they was picking people from every state to run with the torch. It was a torch run, and it was going to run from the one part of the United States all the way to Atlanta. And Miss Peabody got picked to run in New Orleans. I got picked to run outside of Hattiesburg.
Oh wow!
And it was great because at first I didn't run with the torch. What that is? It was something new, you know. What is torch running? What do they mean? So I went over to Columbus with 3 kids, maybe a 6, no, a 4, a 12, and a 14. Not knowing that they was gonna put me in a uniform. Now I got to run with the torch. So luckily, one of my students, Lillian Watson, lived in the area, so she heard about it. That and they named who was coming, so she was there. So I was able to leave my kids with her. Then I looked up. That was my uncle Henry Bacon and my dad John Bacon. They had came over, so I had like a little family reunion with running with the torch, and that was outstanding.
That's awesome. And then you also got Man of the Year.
Yes, for the Bluff City Poets Man of the Year. And I guess from working with all the kids and helping all the kids, all this rings like from 94 to 98. We was very busy trying to make sure we got kids that. And I would like to say, I wasn't by myself. It was a bunch of guys that was doing it. And we was trying to make sure they came up understanding what was ahead of them.
Oh, wow. I just think that's awesome. And I mean, if y'all go out there at Duncan Park now, he's always working with kids, constantly helping out the kiddos out there. And I just love that. You're still, to this day in 2023, still super involved and fully immersed and helping the kids out. And I love that.
Well, I'm saying this time to take a break.
What?
Then here comes my grandson that is now 10, and he's playing tennis, and I'm going, boy, you sure you want to do this? Yeah. So he's playing pretty good. Then I got a couple other kids that are playing pretty good also. That we got an Alexandra that want to go to college, and I've talked to Kahara. He said he think he's want to go to college. So now my goal is now to make sure they play good enough where we can try out for a college team.
Good. I'm like, we need to keep you out there as long as possible.
I don't know.
Okay, so if people do want to take lessons, are you available to take
I'm at
lessons?
Duncan Park usually from 1:30 to probably 6:30 or 7:30, Monday through Thursdays, if it's not cold.
Yeah.
When it's cold, I kind of get out of there in a hurry. I don't like the cold
You
weather.
know, you don't see me out there when it's cold either. We like sunny and 75.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and now also I think I've heard you talk about this before, and you don't have to be involved in tennis to do this, but you can also anonymously sponsor a kid, right?
Yes.
So how does that work?
Well, we have some people who come out. Some of the kids who now adults who come and say, "What can I do to help?" I say, "Well, I got this kid. The mom don't think she want to buy a tennis racket, or they don't want to buy the shoes. So could you help me with rackets and shoes? Because without the proper racket and the proper shoes, it's hard to play this crazy game."
Oh yeah, the shoes. I mean, the racket's important, but the shoes. People
Hmm.
don't know this. The actual tennis shoes. I mean, that can save you from rolling or breaking an ankle
Yes.
out there. So, so if you feel led to do that, you're wondering, hey, how can I get involved in my community? How can I give back a little bit? You may not know anything about tennis, and that is fine. You just contact Coach Hawk out at Duncan Park, and he can help you set that up. So, Hawk, anything else you would like?
Well, I like to say this. Most of our kids came from Williams Apartments, Cedarhurst Apartments, Holiday Apartments, Maryland Heights, and Cambridge Heights. And those are the areas I think now we're having problems with.
Hmm.
So I have put it on some of the guys that came through and young ladies that came through. We need to get back in those neighborhoods. And I think Williams Apartment now they took everybody out of there. But Cedarhurst and Holiday Apartments, Maryland Heights, Cambridge Heights, then Susan West. We need to get in the neighborhoods and get back busy.
And I think you've mentioned this to me before. You've talked about trying to figure out maybe a different bus schedule.
Yes, we're looking at it. The high school now are bringing the tennis kids out, but we're looking at something on the background of trying to find where they can catch the transit bus from school. If they are that interested in learning how to play, they can catch the transit bus from school. The transit bus will bring them out to the courts, and that's for all sports. I think we probably can do that in Natchez and make it work, and then they can call the transit bus and take them back home if the parents don't have a vehicle or at work or something.
Yeah. Well, that is amazing. And I mean, tennis, you're helping instill tennis in these kids, and that's something you can play the rest of your
Rest of their
life.
life,
You know,
yes,
you're not capped after high school
yeah,
or after college. I mean, you can continue this sport for as long as you want into adulthood.
yes. I'm 72, be 73 in June, and I play a little bit at it.
Oh gosh, you're so good. And all the kids out there, y'all, they are so talented. They love being out there. And there's nothing more heartwarming to go out to Duncan Park and see the courts filled with kids. I mean, I just love that. That's like encouraging. Someone who grew up here, you go out there and you see it full of life. And I love that.
Well, especially when in '65 when they say you couldn't come in the park as a black kid and play. So now we are combining and we are doing just fine.
Now we're one big happy family
Yes, ma'am.
out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so tell me about, have there been any kids that you've helped coach throughout the years that have gone off and maybe pursued that a little bit further?
Yes, we have a young man by the name of Vincent Ross, and Vincent played tennis. He come from the Maryland Heights, and he went off to college and played in college, and then worked around here a lot, and kind of moved to Dallas and went to Dallas, and he did start doing tennis in Dallas, and now he's back here. But Mr. Vincent have had 2 heart attacks, and now he have a pacemaker. So 4 days a week he's out there with me trying to help me do whatever we can do to make the kids better.
That's awesome. So now you are kind of tag teaming.
Yes.
And it's kind of
Yes.
come full circle.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Yes.
Well, anything else you would like our viewers to know?
I think that's it. If you feel a need to help a kid, I'm there from 1:30 to 6:30, 7:30 on good days when it's warm. It's cold, then you're gonna have to catch me between 1:30 and 4:30.
Well, thanks so much, Hawk, for coming on today and telling us a little bit about what you do and how you champion for this community. I'm so grateful for what you've taught me over the years and you still continue to help me with and teach me. Thank you to our awesome partners who help bring champions in our community into our studio, and we get to learn a little bit more about them. So, as always, God bless and have a champion day. Hey y'all, it's Juliana Wallace, and if you like what we're doing here at Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, make sure to like, follow, and share on all of our social media platforms. It costs you nothing, and it helps us continue to spread positivity all throughout the Miss Lou.
Hey guys, Ronnie and Juliana here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We want to tell you about our awesome partners, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chiks.
Hicks Chiks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know they are also open to the public?
Hicks has a wide variety of food products, including delicious heat-and-eat options like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish.
Don't forget about their famous TNT burgers that are already pattied up for you, and their amazing dessert options.
So go see the awesome team at Hicks Chiks at 1380 MLK Jr. Road in Natchez.
Hicks Chiks, way more than just chicken.
Welcome to your new hospital, Trinity Medical. Located in Faraday, Trinity Medical is the only acute care facility in the Tri-Parish area. Here you will find an active pursuit of holistic health, a strong, honest group of clinicians, and a consciousness of others that transcends the 80,000 square feet committed to you and your loved ones. Trinity Medical. People you know, caring for people you love.
Hey y'all, Juliana and Ronnie with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, and we're here to tell you about our awesome partner, Natchez Heating and Cooling.
That's right, our friends at Natchez Heating and Cooling are here for you. They make sure you never have to worry about your home's health or efficiency. They have an expert team who can take care of all of your AC, heating, plumbing, and electrical needs. When you need them, they show up. It's as simple as that.
So call our friends at Natchez Heating and Cooling today, and make sure to tell them you heard about them from Miss Lou Champion Spotlight.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We want to tell you about our awesome partner, Dr. Gregg and Gregg Veterinary Hospital. Gregg Veterinary Hospital has been providing comprehensive, reliable, cutting-edge veterinary services to pets in the Miss Lou since 2002. They welcome pets of all shapes and sizes who are in need of emergency treatment or who require routine medical, surgical, and dental care. Dr. Gregg and his team offer a long list of services, including in-house laboratory diagnostics, digital x-ray, soft tissue, orthopedic surgery, dental care, extractions, laser surgery, laser therapy, preventative health, and wellness plans. And if you need grooming and boarding services, they do that too. So call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today.